Da da da! What's my good cheer? Welcome, everybody. Let's give YouTube a couple of minutes. Get those notifications out. Let people know I've gone live. And in the meantime, if you've never popped into one of my lives before, I am Cindy. I explore the inside and the outside. And I do believe I am quite balanced in that. And that's a little bit of the part of the nervousness as we go further into the week and have these conversations that I'll share with you because, it is the wrenches, it is the mishaps and the failures, the fall on your faces. It's the small adjustments that we do to accommodate ourselves and accommodate others. If you're anything like me, you probably accommodate quite a bit. And I have a high tolerance. I do believe in those relationships because I've come from those dynamic relationships, even within my own family. And as much as we butt heads, I would stand next to them in a battle at any point, at any time. There's a saying that I keep close to my heart: never deny your own, because in the end, that's all you've got. And to each one of us, we have to decide, you know, who is our own, right? Is it our church? Is it a group or a network? Is it your family? Is it your friends, right? Is it your peers? And to each one of us, we get to choose. Because I don't have a lot of people in my life, and because, well, me and my sisters are sisters. We have been with each other, ups and downs, and crazy town, and amazing, dazzle and amaze. We have been with each other. We know each other, right? And when those wrenches get thrown into our lives, right, I can count on my sisters. And like I said, we butt heads most of the time, most of the time, but we love each other dearly. And that is part of the lessons, in evolution, to better get along with others. But, how can you get to that point if you can't better get along with yourself? I am grateful because obviously I wouldn't be at that point if I hadn't picked up a few lessons along the way, right? There was a good possibility I could have blown up my entire life, but I didn't. Had a little giggle with myself just before I came live again, as I do all day today. I was in it, little projects and stuff, and uh my Chatters live show, no, but I haven't said anything here. But I'm in my fourth day of my 2 week resignation from the job that I have, and that job that puts the roof over my head. And when I came in and we said a little bit, it makes me a little bit nervous sometimes, right? It's those dangling heights where we don't know where we're going to land. We're not going to fall, right? How hard we're going to fall, right? And what that cush is underneath us. How well did we plan it, and who's behind us, who's supporting us in that? Because it is scary, it is kind of confusing, it's a little bit stressful, and I noticed the stress because my skin, and I noticed that. So I've been taking care of myself the best that I can. And it is kind of a crazy town move, but was a crazy town move that needed to be done. And, I could have been a little bit more prepared in the idea that I knew this was coming, right? I knew this was coming a long time ago, months and months ago, right? But sometimes when things are good, right, why rock the boat? And that's the thing. That's the best time to rock the boat, is when it's comfortable, because that says that you've learned everything. You're good, right? The lessons have been absorbed, whatever that lesson in your life was, right? You're ready to take on some more if you want, or, right, grab the remote control and sit in front of the TV, whatever your, right, bit of escape is. And I have been doing that, and I recognize that I do it. But again, Cindy wants a car, so, right, You got to have a job. You got to, right, make that money. Don't let go of the only job that you have. And, right. And then there's nothing to support you and you fall even further. I do believe in the lessons that I have taken in, right? I have built up a little bit of confidence and a little bit of belief in myself because I had a little bit coming in. I don't know where it came from, but I had a little bit coming in. So I'm grateful that I treaded the water and those were all my choices. Again, I could have had the couch and the remote control. And instead, what did I do? I threw my TV out. Hello, Melvin. I didn't read your comment yesterday, and I saw that you had come in into my live, or not yesterday, on Friday, and I went, oh my goodness, as I'm hitting the end button, and then I see, oh, there's Melvin. I didn't even say hi to him. Hi, Melvin. I hope you're having an amazing week. If you didn't catch it, I quit my job. Oh, but you were there Sunday, so you knew already. But yeah, I am going to be unemployed. Not this Thursday coming up, but the Thursday after. I want to have an amazing couple of weeks. I want to be able to say goodbye to my customers. I want to make sure that that community that we worked so hard to build and it turned into something amazing, that it doesn't suffer in that. So do the best that we can in getting people ready for my departure, because guarantee, right, it is in the absence that that evidence is. And sometimes we don't pay attention until it's too late, right? And that's true for all of us, even in my own circumstances in life. I did love that job, Melvin. I did love that job, but that wasn't my dream. That wasn't my goals. And because I built my life up a way, that I built up all kinds of set values for myself and boundaries for myself and a way for me to live, that again, in feeling comfortable where we are, right? Why rock the boat? And that's the best time to make those moves, right? Because if nothing's coming into the mix, sometimes we have to throw our own wrench into that mix. And I'm not to say I was the instigator in that, but that's the way life is, right? And we have to be able to. And it was just curious because, like I was just going to say, I came into my live show today and I had all kinds of discussions. I'm taking in lessons. I'm in my projects. I'm getting ready to start my new life, setting up a house and finding all kinds of things that I've been looking for the past 6 months, putting them in better spots. I don't know what frame of mind when I put them in the spots where I found them, but I'm I'm finding them now, right? And that's why you do the spring cleaning. And right, the weather is nice, so spring cleaning. But I was saying to myself, "Oh, I have all these topics," and I remember a couple of times that I said, "That's what we're going to talk about today, right?" And then I went off doing my own thing, and I totally forgot it. I have to write it down. If that thought comes to me, I have to write it down because I don't know what the topic is otherwise, right? And so I'm going, "Oh my goodness, you don't even know." And I got my cup in my hand, and I read this, and I went, "Oh my goodness, there it is. That's what we'll talk about, right?" You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. You can learn to surf. I'm riding those waves right now, right? And I'm not a surfer, but I am going to adjust myself however necessary, right? We only have a couple of weeks, and then I'm going to take at least a week off, totally flake out. I might even come offline for a week. I don't know. I haven't decided, but definitely I'm going to need some mother nature, so I'll be outside quite a bit and I'll be in my contemplation. So I don't know how much I will show up that week. And plus, right, as we get closer, those thoughts in my mind of, oh, Cindy, what did you do? You're on that swinging heights, you're about to fall. Right? And we're just going to do it. We're creating our own change. And who's to say if I didn't do it when I did, that maybe some other different circumstance might have happened. This world is turning into crazy town, and I have my interactions at work that are just sometimes a little bit uncomfortable, right? And I do it because, well, I love my job, right? And as much as you can't just take your job and just take the good of it, you have to accept the bad. And if you're not willing to accept the bad, right, then you're only going to cause ache and agitations to the people around you. So, right, if you're feeling comfortable enough that way, then it's time to add a little bit into the mix. So it's exactly what I did there. Okay, so it is 12:17. We got a couple of minutes, but only a couple of minutes, you guys, and then I've got to run off to work. We're going to just grab a card here. Just 2 minutes. 2 minutes, first perspective, whatever it comes out. We'll just chit chat a little bit. Melvin says, I have left many jobs, never been fired, left because I wanted to move on or up. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Melvin. That is some great insight. That's about the best thing that anybody could have said to me to stay, right? Because I don't want those thoughts to creep in to say, Cindy, what did you do? How are you going to put a roof over your head? You could have stood and you could have worked harder, right? You could have stressed out more. You could have been agitated, and you could have had that love for your job that you love so much be lessened by that. Lessened as in, right? Not as good anymore. So thank you for saying that, because I do feel like it's time for me to take a little bit more on, even though it means I'm shedding this and there's no lifelines in sight in the moment. But to be able to say goodbye to my customers, and my customers know who I am, and you never know what opportunities come across your path, right? You never know. Okay, you guys, here's the word. I'm just going to pull it out. It's going to be this card right here. Tenderness. We got the word tenderness, and it says here, tenderness is in the appreciation that we are only human and that we live in a world of all kinds of humans. Oh my goodness. I was just thinking about this yesterday about how, I want to manage, I want to have the best exit ever for myself, for my employers, for my customers. I just want people to feel good about it and the community to be just as solid as ever, right? But we have to understand that there are all kinds of humans, and I am grateful for the people that hang out with me, that sort of kind of get me sometimes, if not always, but in that appreciation for who I am, and for offering up these small kindnesses like Melvin just did in that insight that's going to be on my mind all day today, that will encourage me and just be my little bit of cheerleader, a little bit of pep talk when I get in my brain and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, what did you do, Cindy? Yeah, right? And then start peddling water the opposite way. And that's not going to happen. That's one thing I've known. I've made my decisions, but that won't stop me from trying to talk myself out of it 100%, right? It takes all kinds to make the world, and all kinds have the right to have that opportunity in their own environment, and especially, you know having the say in their environment, that they should be actually be able to create it the way that they want. And sometimes it can be an interference when you're not thinking on the same wavelength. It doesn't make anybody right or wrong. It never does, right? But it is a different perspective, right? And that's my perspective. So I'm trying to be very tender, very kind, right? And I'm not sure if I'm trying too hard. I'm just trying to be myself and in that tenderness of the moment, right? Because I understand this is going to be uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. Nervousness, and not knowing in the sureness of where you're going to drop is a little bit uncomfortable. And especially when you're trying to reassure everybody else, everything's good. Don't worry about it. Everything's going to be okay. But, right, you want to make sure that you're doing that for yourself, right? Everything is going to be okay. It really, really is. Unless I miss that bus and they say I'm not going to show up. And then I ruin my entire 2 week notice. Ah, with a bad reference. Okay, that ain't happening. Okay, you guys, have a great day. We will see you tomorrow sometime. Bye bye.